Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the penultimate round of the ARC Indycar Championship. And it will take us to Sonoma GP circuit, not that weird national circuit that the real-life Indycar Championship uses. So we're getting this out of the way. You did not leave first. As we, excuse me. As we've just begun the qualifying session. Basically the round that determines whether we'll have a 3-car championship battle or none. Just about. I'd be surprised if we have if we don't have a battle, but it's not going to be too close, I don't think. That's my guess. It's going to be a 2-car battle. We'll go over the actual points data a little later, but Jamie Wright was the first driver to get on the racetrack, and so he'll cross to begin the first time lap of the session. From what I understand, we should be aiming probably for the low to mid 13s, probably for a pole. That's my guess. I don't know if Jamie's going to get anywhere near there, but I would say like a high 14 is a competitive lap time at the very least. If you're not running those, you're probably just going to be in the way. And I should know, because I was running 16.9s in my practice. So, I practice, which is hardly effective, because I don't have a setup, so the car I'm driving handles nothing like the vehicle we're watching go around now. Down through the S's, up to the the final hairpin, the last real corner on the race circuit. There's a little left-hand kink, doesn't really count as a corner to me. And we start off the day with a 16.24. Not exactly the fastest lap, and then Jamie Wright immediately loses control heading into turn 2. Trying to find a little more time than that, and instead finds a wall. Smart trucks like Sonoma are liable to be a little cluttered, as there we see a 14.89 from Fabian, so I did say if you were trying to be competitive, you at least need a high 14. And Fidel delivers on that regard. Or in that regard, excuse me. Jurgensmeyer with a 15.6, Logan Cool a 20.5. I'm not sure if that might have been an outlap. That's also off the track. A lot of people like to set a banker lap and then really push the car into 2. We've seen that 3 times now, and they've all had the same result. Kyler Boggs is around, heading towards the, basically where the GP circuit breaks off from the default layout. Julian Lozano has arrived to bring our field up to 12. You know, as is often the case in Lee Racing, when I'm still spectating you, your lap is over. Yep, I was right. 13.6 on Dylan Bam's first lap out. It's about what I was expecting. Because I'm sure as the session goes on, he should be able to get even faster, and yeah, he's already up a 10.5. Assuming he's not impeded along the way. But Fabian was out of the way, just barely. But there was other traffic going through the carousel ahead of him, and I couldn't tell what that car was. Looked like maybe it might have been Matthew Stott's. I think it is. Pretty sure, actually. Is Dylan Bam still improving? As he's about to enter the wake of that car. No, he is down by nearly 3.5 tenths. There we go. Got there. Oh, Jurek has improved to a 14.5. Nickel with only a 15.4 to offer at the moment. As Jurgensmeyer gets out of the 6 cars' way, and he's not going a whole lot faster yet either. He's in the wrong gear for that turn, I figure. AJ's really running some high gears for these turns. Well, he's up a second, so it clearly is working. But if he's got to be that touchy on gear selection, I can't imagine this thing must be super planted on corner exit. Just kind of concerning signs for the race, but across the line, he gains literally a second to jump to second on the board, but he's still quite a ways off Dylan Bam. 0.8 off, and he's on the front row with him. Can I just, fast forward? I think we already know who's taking this pole. Jurgensmeyer, no, that was Matthew Stotts that ran a lap. A 14.7... Gabe jumps to a 15.5. I think this is an outlap for Dylan. That's why I didn't show a sector split there. I'm gonna go ahead and guess. That's why. Yeah, it was. Still with 2 drivers yet to set a lap, and Kyra Boggs' minute 30 is not representative. Up by a mere 200ths for the first sector, but nearly goes all the way off the circuit there at what I believe to be turn 5. I know the corner numbering methods here at Sonoma are kind of silly, so. And he's lost it all. He's down by over a second. I think he might have hit his glass ceiling right at the start. At least that's what it looks like to me. So we shall watch elsewhere for the time being. That's an outlap for Fidel, very clearly. Who's on, a legitimate lap that, means something? Kyra Boggs ran an 18.6, so he gets something on the board, but he's clearly not finding much comfort here at Sonoma. Either he's not finding comfort or he isn't finding consistency, one or the other. He's up 0.2 as he goes down the S's. He and Jamie Wright have... Oh, because this is Jamie Wright. Why do their cars look so similar? This is not Kyler. Oh my god. Well, okay, so not Kyler. Jamie finds 0.3. Kyler Boggs is in the pit lane. His session is over. As is everybody else behind him, except for Connor Hannick, is finally on the racetrack trying to get something in. The session timer has expired, and so the first lap completed. To end their session, Connor Hannick will come across and do a 29.9. That was an outlap. Next across is Fidel Fabian, who jumps to second with a 14.4. Alrighty then. JSR driver that's, well, not in the championship hunt. suddenly plays a bit of spoiler, but we'll see if AJ Knickel can tackle that. That looks weird. Thank you, Leg. Very cool. I think he just might if he can keep this pace. He's up 4/10. He's looking set to maybe just barely dip into the 13s. Up to the last turn. Oh, the car argues. You had to kind of make the car cooperate there. I don't know if that's lost him a bunch of time or not. It has. Or he got invalidated. I think he technically went off down the S's. So, probably had the pace to go second, but he didn't have the racing line. And that will conclude this qualifying session. But, anywho, quick grid rundown to get all the things on the screen. And I passed gas a little. Wait, no, this other one. I just burped. Anyway. Dylan Bam with a pole, again, over Fidel Fabian, AJ Knickel, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Matthew Stotts, Jamie Wright, Gabe Kazola, Kyler Boggs, Matthew Daly, who I believe had picked up grid penalties during the qualifying session, Logan Cool, Connor Hannick, and Julian Lozano, who did not make any qualifying laps whatsoever. And although this doesn't mean anything to anybody, or this doesn't mean everything to everybody, but it is 9/11. This is a predominantly American motorsport, so I feel it is only appropriate to take a moment to honor those that died 22 years ago on the events of that day back in 2001. I know the league owner is Canadian, but there are a lot of Americans here. A couple that I think live pretty close to New York. So, moment to honor all of the people who were lost on that day. As you can tell, speeches are not my thing. But, anywho, while we're still waiting, now seems like as good a time as any. There we go. I've remembered my native language. Never mind, we're about to start the race. I was gonna bring up the point standings, but the red lights are on the screen, and we are green from Sonoma. And Fidel Fabian gets away quite well. Those auto gears, well, they help. Down the inside, he's going to try and take the lead right here. He is not clear. In fact, Dylan Bam will clear before we even get to the next turns. And, yeah, away we go. Let's see as we look in the sort of mid-pack. Yep, Matthew Stotts is around. As I was expecting to see chaos, Julian Lozano, I believe that is up there, is missing his front wing. And definitely notable is that Matthew Daly is running in last. But there is no yellow flag, even though there's a lot of cars back there with damage. Doesn't seem like anybody has spun around, and everybody is able to move under their own engine power. No flips, no missing tires. So we remain green for the time being. Oh, there's contact in the background, but I have the thing set wrong. There might be a yellow for that. AJ Knickel and Fidel Fabian get together. AJ losing his wing and Fidel stuck facing the wrong direction. I don't really know what happened because my stupid behind cut the camera away at the last second. It was definitely AJ Knickel running into the back of Fidel, but I don't know if that's just because AJ was aggressive or perhaps Fidel maybe was a little passive. But that has clearly opened the door for Dylan Bam to have all of the space he needs to not make too many mistakes, because goodness knows by now, The way that DIVEBOMB's driving works is if he's near other people, he can sometimes crack. But if he has the track to himself, he uses it all, and he uses it well. And he's not super prone to errors. If there's somebody around to keep Dylan honest, he can be easily defeated. But when Dylan doesn't have competition, or anybody nearby to keep him on edge, or battle with, heaven forbid, this race might already be decided unless we get a yellow flag, which, I mean, we should, right? I mean, we got 3 cars running together. It's literally just like Kyler Boggs versus Conga Line at the moment. But Matthew Stotts' car is not behaving the way it should. It went through those turns like it was missing a front wing, even though it doesn't appear as such. Either that or you just forgot to turn in. I've been there before. That first lap put multiple cars in the pits. Fidel Fabian continued with his car as is, but Jamie, Julian, AJ, and Matthew Daly all had to pit for damage, and AJ is only now leaving, and Matthew Daly just exited his stall, so that collision has put AJ a lap down. So that's a big championship moment right there, because, well, the championship, which was once a 7-car battle, 2 bad races for a lot of the JSR and CLE camp, have left it as basically 3. Let me see here, I have the standings up on my tablet still. DIVEBOMB is currently leading the points at 491. AJ has 481. Jake Scarborough, who could not make it today, and has has pretty much lost the championship off that alone, has 471. And Jonathan Jurgensmeyer is the distant outsider looking in at 457, 34 back from the current race leader, DIVEBOMB. So in other words, what I'm saying is that there may not be a championship battle unless things really change around quickly. But with how spread out the field has already gotten in the span of about 4 laps, not even like 3 1/3 laps, we might be looking at a race. At the moment, DIVEBOMB has an 8.5 second lead over Jurgensmeyer, which he has built over the span of just 4 laps. And that lead is only growing. It's now up to 9.2. Jurgensmeyer, oh, that's why, because he's stuck behind some lap traffic and in the dirty air of, I believe that is Jamie Wright. Jamie Wright is off the track. Nearly rejoins into Jurgensmeyer. That's a bit of a grit your teeth moment there. That lap car cost Jurg 2 whole seconds at least, possibly even 3. I don't know how long he was actually behind him for, but you can just see in the lap time, a 19.4 was the lap time Jurg just ran. That would have been good for starting 10th in qualifying. Oh, that's AJ Kanickles behind. I'm like, wait, he's behind Stotts. No, he's not. Well, Matthew Stotts just spun, so that puts Gabe back into 3rd. The other thing that I can't actually see because there is no... Why are you doing that? The other thing I can't see, because it's not calculated on the SLP standings directly, or if it is, I can't find where. Oh, Gabe Cazola is around, he clips a cone, and that puts Fidel Fabian back into 3rd place, basically where he was when we started, except with Jurg. There's also the Teams Championship, which at the moment is led by JSR. CLE is second in points because 44R hasn't had the same consistency. It hasn't had 3 cars show up to most races. But JSR, this is the first time in a while that one of them has missed the race at all. But they're still running 2-3 while CLE are running 4 and 4 because Matthew Stotch just retired the car. As did Jamie Wright. As did someone else. June Lozano lagged out, apparently. It says he disconnected. Obviously, you can do that manually as well. I think it's if you turn your PlayStation off, it would say that, as opposed to left the session. Well, we're about 15% or so through the race. DIVEBOMB has already grabbed a lead of almost 14 seconds over Jonathan Juergensmeyer. Continuing to have an absolute field day up there. You've already lost 3 cars. Yeah, with Stotts' early exit from the race, I think that team's championship is all but locked up for JSR, assuming they don't both DNF themselves. Man. Have I leave yet? Oh, Logan Cool's around. Just when I thought we might have a battle for position, somebody else, can't say that word, screws up and prevents it from happening. Oh. Little love tap to that tire barrier. It's funny, that's still probably enough to have given him some suspension damage or something. It wouldn't surprise me. Oh, it's driving like it. He keeps it barely off of the wall. Barely. Somebody just drove past. I don't know who that was. Oh, that's the lap down Matthew Daly. Kyler Boggs is back in the pits. Or was he in the pits before? I don't even remember. This race has just been a blur. Are we under caution or something? Why are we... He must be. I don't know for what. I'm not complaining, mind you, as we're now down to 8 cars. Connor Hannick is left. I can only assume, based on the context clues, that perhaps he flipped over and brought out a safety car, or otherwise, like, totaled his car and left debris on the track, but just left immediately, so that doesn't even matter. No, you have a caution, and with the caution brings a chance of actually having a race during this race broadcast. Instead of just watching DIVEBOMB run 37 time trial laps, which, fun to watch, not fun to commentate, I must be honest. And this gets AJ back in the running, as he was the leader amongst lap down cars. So he can grab his lap back that he lost from the incident with Fidel on lap 1. I don't know how my voice hurts. I haven't even been talking. Nothing's been happening. Yeah, Matthew Daly is also getting waved around, which is weird. I don't remember that being how that works. I could just be dumb, though. Happens a lot. Oh, my nectar's correct. That was fun. Love that. So we are down to 2/3 of the original grid. 4 cars have left us, meaning we're now down to 8. That is maths. I'd be surprised if we don't see literally everybody come into the pits here. AJ pits. See what the shakeout is as everybody comes out of the pits up here. It seems as though nothing has really changed, though. It's still the top 5 as they were before. Zoned out there, my bad. Nothing happened to a safety car, right? It's not like there's some intense strategy going on to discuss or anything. We're just kind of doing the vehicular Congo line. Pun not intended. Well, this is gonna be interesting. Kyler Boggs is only now leaving the pits. Matthew Daly will just about get here in time, maybe. But that don't matter, I don't think, because I think we'd be waiting for Boggs anyway. So I don't believe we'll be green this time. It'd be kind of surprised me a little bit if we did go green here. Matthew Daly is going to get up to the field literally as we're in the last turn of the racetrack. Assuming he doesn't smack into somebody, which he doesn't. Okay, no, I mean, DIVEBOMB is still in 6th gear, so that's sort of your clue that we're not going green here. Yeah, for anybody wondering what what this does to the points, I'm pretty sure this currently just stretches it out to where it's really close between Jurg and AJ for second, but it's pretty much Dylan's championship to lose, so... the commentator and me, obviously, because that's most of what I am, would rather, unfortunately, see... I mean, I'm not supposed to wish something bad happens to Dylan. I don't want anything bad happen to him. I just want him to get overtaken by vehicles. Preferably those vehicles being Jurgensmeyer and AJ. But I feel as that at this point, like, that's kind of asking a fair bit. Especially after having seen the pace as demonstrated by BAM thus far in this race and the last, like, two. Kyler Boggs is about to arrive at the back of the grid, so we will finally be able to go green here on lap 11, not 10, starting 12, so we're already effectively a third of the way through the race once we take the green flag again. People are pretending to double up, I don't know why. It's quite a view from the top of the hill. If only we're actually in focus. Huge section. Great, another thing you have to keep track of. Sore voice, burping, and now scratching my beard. At least we can finally turn the fans off because fall is finally hit here in Minnesota. We, meaning I, but that's neither here nor there. Yep, Dylan puts his machine in first gear, which means anywhere out of the final hairpin, I believe, is counted as the last turn, and Dylan can floor it from there, pretty much. And he floors it at his earliest convenience. We are green again from Sonoma, and he's using a push to pass to get away here. He knows his weakness just as well as I do. He doesn't want to be near anybody if he can help it. Not that I blame him particularly. Especially at a track like this, it's pretty close quarters. Indy already making a little progress ahead of Logan Cool off the restart. Not the race start. We're a little ways past that, Riker. Very, as I said, close quarters for second place. 3-car train, which Jurg is more or less getting away from. But Fidel and Gabe Cazzola and momentarily AJ Knickel are very wing to wing at the moment. Not really bumper to bumper because we don't have bumpers in this car. But you get the idea. Dirty air just hit Gabe Cazzola like a truck. I take it. Gabe has quite a run out of the basically that little right-hand kink, and he looks down the inside, but that door is it's not really left open. But you just bump Fidel wide, it takes third place away. The camera didn't really help me figure out what was going on there. Fidel really doesn't put up much resistance to AJ Knickel passing. Gabe Cazzola's around on the exit of 2. That was a bit of a surprise moment there. In 3D, even Logan Cool is going to get past there. Oh, nearly coming to blows. They are colliding, Kyler Boggs and Gabe Cazzola. Remember, Kyler is a lap down at the moment. Don't know if damage has been done. Now AJ Knickel will attempt to run down Jonathan Juergensmeyer, who's only about a second up the road. That is AJ's final obstacle before he can maybe look at catching up to his Alliance teammates in the form of Dylan Bam, but obviously first things first. Now it is Matthew Daly on the back of Fidel Fabian, and they have very different ways of taking this final hairpin. This time Fidel does not leave himself out to dry, and so Matthew Daly, whom we are on board with, will have to sit and wait. We're making massive progress. That's going to help those. Fidel, he has a very, he's got more of a qualifying pace way of taking these hairpins. He arcs in late. Matthew Daly just attacks the entry to the corner and just kind of figures it out from there. I think Gabe did the same thing, and that's how Gabe got ahead of Fidel Fabian a couple of laps ago before spinning out. Oh, he attacked the hair, inside too much, and now he's busted half his wing off on the tire barrier. I think Juergensmeyer made a mistake while we were watching that as well, so that promotes AJ Knickel to second place. And now we've really reached the status quo. Because now it is the exact same, the same exact podium we've seen in the last two races. Dylan, AJ, Juergensmeyer. Bach-Knidger. That doesn't sound right, never mind. I don't like this It doesn't have the same ring as Hamverbot. Might be looking at another like a reverse Snetterton. We'll have to look at how the lap times stack up now that AJ Knickel is clear. They're about in a dead heat right now, but also, of course, AJ followed Jurg through at least a part of that lap. Gabe Casola has disconnected, leaving us with a mere 7 cars, and we're not even... At this rate, we're gonna have 1 car left at the end of the race. You've had an average of 1 exit per 5 laps. What? 1 exit per 3 laps, actually. 5 exits in 15 laps. Math! I definitely have some vague concept of how it works, I swear to you. Yeah, well, AJ literally just matched Dylan's lap time, so they are still at a dead heat, even more so than they were in the previous lap. Meanwhile, however, we are about to have a battle for the bottom podium position, as Fidel Fabian has found that pace he had in qualifying, and he has used it to get back up to the rain light of Jonathan Juergensmeyer. We're going for a record here, clearly. No, barely keeps it on the tarmac. Now, normally I would say don't battle Juergensmeyer, don't pass him because he's in the points battle, but based on the way that this race looks set to conclude, I don't think he'll be in that points battle going into the final round, even if Fidel didn't pass him. So at this point, Fidel, you may as well go for that podium. If you can get there. You lost a bit of time on that lap. I think Jurg maybe lit a fire under him there. It's like, oh crap, I'm under pressure. I need to go now. Type of thing. Yep. Good commentary, as ever. Go fast race. It's almost like this is a league race or something, right? Either way, it's certainly working. Jurgensmeyer is getting back away from Fidel Fabian. JJ versus FF. We got the alliterative names battling for third. There aren't many of those, are there? I think these are definitely the only two in the race. I don't know of any off the top of my head. Other names in ARC that are alliterative? We have now passed the halfway mark of the race. The lead it's getting trimmed down little bit by little bit. AJ Knickel is making consistent, well, they're both making consistent laps. His are just consistently a tenth or two quicker. That's added up to cut down his lead by about a second and a half. Since we last checked in on the Canadian driver. Likewise, Jurgensmeyer has gained another second or so. He's now 1.8 up on Fidel Fabian, or thereabouts. And it is nothingness behind these four, by the way. There's Matthew Daly and Kyler Boggs are both a lap down from damage taken earlier on in the race. Matthew Daly, we literally watched it. Kyler Boggs, I'm not really sure what happened, but it was very dramatic to where it originally had him 2 laps down, but he got one back under the caution, and that's going to do some more damage. That's a wrecked car. He's missing both right side tires. I don't think that thing's going anywhere. That was so jarring. That's a caution, as I had kind of suspected, because that's a DNF, so yeah, I mean, we're on that same pace, 1 DNF per 3 laps, so we have a caution. We're down to the grid size of Gran Turismo 1, here from Sonoma. I guess we want to be more exact, if we could just say Gran Turismo 4, since this track was in that game. Oh, it's called Infineon, but you get what I mean. The time is so long ago that the sign up on the left had a Dodge NASCAR on it. Now I believe it just says Yokohama. Actually, there were white signs up there. I don't know. This is how this race has become. I'm attempting to look at the signs on the outside of the hairpin because I wonder if they still look like what they did in 2005. The answer's probably a big fat no, Riker. Logan Cool nearly losing control of the car under caution flag conditions. Don't really know how or why. Although this car is handling like it's got wing damage, so maybe there is a cause. Okay, I know, there's Sonoma Raceway signs. Save Mart still sponsors this place. In this game, you can see the signs over there, actually. So, weird. Yeah, because it used to be the Dodge Safe Mart 350, and then it was the Toyota Safe Mart 350. Why am I talking about NASCAR? Help me. Help me. Oh, where my voice is going to. I believe pits may have been closed. big stretch. Ugh, good lord. Ugh. Well, this brings at least this. We may have only 6 cars left, but at least they're all going to be on the lead lap now. This Matthew Daly is in the process of taking his wave around. Is there not a commitment cone rule here in IndyCar? If there is one, Dylan absolutely just shattered it. So I'm going to go and assume no. He did that kind of on the last pit stop as well. So everybody is going to get, well, any damages they might have that are like minor repaired, new tires, more than enough fuel to reach the end, so... straightforward set of affairs all the way from here to the checkered flag, assuming, you know, something catastrophic doesn't happen. Which I can't necessarily say it won't. You've had it before. Logan Cool is... what the heck? Is Dylan stuck in the pits, or is he like... okay, there we go. Maybe he just had some slight damage or something that had to be repaired. Or perhaps these two didn't take tires. Jurgensmeyer gains the race lead, and Logan Cool will gain 2nd place. And now this will be interesting. Fabian 3rd, Knickel 4th, Bam in 5th. Matthew Daly got there about 20 seconds late, so he is only now leaving the pit lane. These times I would love to drive one of these 44-hour Champion setups. Maybe if it was just after the race, just to know what they felt like. Because I really don't like driving the Indy cars on default setups too much. They feel weird. They feel a bit sporadic. Like, sometimes they have as much grip as an F1 car, but other times it feels like I'm just driving a glorified GT2 car. Not even GT1. Not even that. I guess that doesn't really work, because there are no GT2 cars. Okay, GT1s then, fine. Sometimes it feels like a Porsche 911 GT1, other times it feels like an F1 car. And the braking on them can be, temperamental. But that's neither here nor there. As, we, look to lap 23, which will be the lap that we are about to take the green flag once more. We're basically splitting this race into stages. We got a caution that we went green on lap 12, went lap green on lap 23, and here we go. Will we have another green flag restart on lap 35? I guess we're gonna find out. But for now, we are green once again from Sonoma, and it is an interesting set of affairs. The order is very different off that pit stop, but Logan Cool has been dusted into turn 2 by Fidel Fabian. But he is not being passed by everybody yet. Oh, never mind, now he is. He's off the track, and that is a lot of damage. No DNF for him, but was that pit strategy worth it, my guy? That's really not changed the course as much of anything. That just kind of... it confused me a little bit. Then I remembered who we were dealing with, and I was like, oh right, he does do that a lot. What the heck? I guess Jurg understeered and Fidel oversteered. Let's get in the second position, right to AJ Knickel. Can Dylan deal with other vehicles on the racetrack? Yes, when Fidel lets them by. You guys are really not saving the commentator, you know that? I can't stand you people. Race for my amusement! Read! Well, now there's no choice. Jurgensmeyer is definitely not letting this position go. AJ Knickel's gonna have to pry from his cold, dead hands. Just about, by the looks of it. He's parking the bus on that inside lane at every opportunity. And curiously, he's not using push-to-pass charges, though, which is weird. At least, not yet. Maybe he will in the drag strip? No. Okay. The championship leaders, all 1, 2, 3, but in reverse order. And I say that as if Jurg is really in the championship fight, but I mean, if the race goes the way it is now, he might be in with a very outside chance if Dylan, like, literally DNFs from, like, 12th. Better than nothing. As we officially pass the 2/3 distance mark here from Sonoma. And now we've got an actual race on our hands, unless people screw up again and throw it all away, as we've seen countless times so far this evening. Oh, Dylan's not waiting. They might be teammates, but, oh, we are under caution. Why are we under caution? Was there debris somewhere on the track that I didn't see? I do not know what this is for. Was there, like, parts of Logan sitting there on the exit of turn 4 or something that we have caution flagged for? As I'm looking in the Discord and I'm seeing what could only be interpreted as rumors of Jamie Wright leaving Conga Line at the end of the season. Fidel Fabian disconnects. Oh yeah, I like completely forgot that was like somebody who was in the battle. I don't really know what happened there. I guess that might be why we had the caution. Maybe he DNF'd and dipped. And I just didn't notice. Ay, ay, ay. Race of attrition. We started with 12, by the way, and we are looking set to end with less than half. Maybe even a third, depending on how the last, like, 10 laps of this race go. You know, I personally figured that since we've been running ARC Indycar for 7 years now, that the people in this league would be able to drive in it without having stability control, and there are definitely some that are. The 5 that are running can, to some extent. But, obviously, not. Just not. I've applied to have commentary roles in other leagues too. I know this isn't really of any relevance to the race at hand, but we're under safety car, nobody's pit, we're just waiting until we get back around to take the green flag. I've applied to be a commentator for other leagues and other games too, by the way. But every time I've tried, I've been turned down for lack of professionalism. Mind you, yeah, no, I'm not exactly the most professional person, but also, sometimes these races don't help. It's hard to be professional when we've had a race with 7 DNFs and 26 laps. And 3 cautions isn't that abnormal, I guess, but 7 DNFs, a lack of any sort of parity, it's kind of... It can be difficult to remain wholly, you know, stone-faced professional like an Alex Jock when I am watching something that's sometimes not worth commentating. And I know that's not really an issue any one person can fix. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, good scrubs, but like, I know, I'm the commentator. It is my job to give my input and opinions on what I'm seeing, and my input has been just anyway, jaded ranting done. We should be getting back green here out of the final turn. Jura controls the restart. We're down to just 5 cars in the race. We're now down to less than in a Gran Turismo 4 event. And we are once again green. I don't really know if I'd call that a consistent speed, but nonetheless, here we go. I guess it's also not as detrimental when there's only 5 cars on the track. We're not going to have a huge accordion effect if most of the field's not in the race. Oh, that was nearly terrible from... AJ got a run out of turn 2, but had nowhere to take it because this is Sonoma. Now he has missed the bottom of the top of the hill. Logan Cool almost spins, but manages to keep it pointed the right direction. Does Bam have an answer for AJ Knickel? If I'm doing Bam, I don't even know if I care about Jurgensmeyer winning the race. I'm more concerned about that 6 car. He's the one that's got to pass me in points. Jurgensmeyer is some 24 back from AJ, 34 back from Dylan. He's probably not the biggest threat at the moment. Obviously not, actually. I'm looking at this utilitarian sense. Just get ahead of AJ and put it out of reach of Jurgensmeyer anyway. And that is exactly what he's going to try and do as he goes down... Never mind. Well, he thought about it. It looked like he was kind of peeking his nose to the inside, but he got nowhere near. Oh, my voice is really starting to be angry at me now. It's probably audible at this point that my throat is just uncooperative. Post-race interviews, I feel like they have to happen because this has been a battle for the top 3 spots this whole time. Matthew Daly is also kind of nearby if things go catastrophic. Kind of nearby. He's 4.5 seconds behind the leader now, but that's still close enough to pick up the pieces if they get scattered. AJ dummy to move there. Jurg's not falling for it. I'll go on board with Dylan Bam to mix things up a bit as we head down the S's on lap 28. Oh, a huge run for him on that 6 car. They're going to go too wide into the kink? That's a bad idea. And Dylan knows that as well as I do, and he just kind of dummies it. All they really accomplished is just losing both of them a small amount of time. However, AJ is clearly not too massively inconvenienced by it. He's right there to the back of that 18 car. He's going to send it this time. Jurg manages to go deep enough, though, and stave off the 6 car's attack. And now Dylan's right back there. This is what we waited 20-something laps for. And if they can keep it clean, it's going to be worth the price of admission, I would say. And I mean, if there's any people on this track that can keep it clean, it's going to be these 3, you know, the championship leaders. If they can't, then there's something horribly wrong with the universe. Now go on board with AJ Knickel as he heads down the S's. 9 laps to go here, so there's still time to figure it out, I suppose. To see who goes where and how. A run, but nowhere to go with it. A lockup for Jurgensmeyer. I forgot he runs with the ABS turned off. AJ Knickel does not do this. Uncanny deja vu, we have the same deal. AJ gets a huge run into turn 1, can't take it anywhere. We sort of stretch and squeeze our way out as we head up the hills into the S section. Or the uphill S's, I should say. Because those are S's. Turn 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are an S section. No difference to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 are. This entire track is just S's, really. And then you have, like, 3 hairpins. Now, this time Major doesn't even have a run into the last turn. He's nowhere near the 18 car's little, like, rain light. Oh, he's turned that off now. He must have heard me. That was on before, I'm pretty sure. Oh, Jurgensmeyer ties his fastest lap, and AJ Knickel runs the exact same lap. A minute 17.4 flat. They're 2 wide into 3. AJ's trying to find new ways. Oh, they make some contact. Nearly turns Jurgensmeyer. Through goes DIVEBOMB. Is he going to complete that? Nope. He's going to be too wide with AJ, though. Can at least try and get back to second. Again, that's his points rival. Jurgen's a little ways out. Down the inside. Big contact. And oh, my word. I thought that was his wheel. That's just his wing. Dylan is going for everything there. That was... I think we kind of knew that was coming a little bit. I did say when Dylan's near other people, he's prone to errors. No caution, though, because it didn't DNF anybody. But that's left big damage on both DIVEBOMB and AJ Knickel. Bigger on the latter. And, yep, I said, Matthew Daly is right there. Once the pieces get scattered, he's there to collect them all. I don't know if Dylan got badly damaged. It doesn't look like it, as he's not heading to the pit lane. But Matthew Daly is going to find himself on the podium as a result of that. And AJ is going to have to just head into the pit lane and maybe try and get 4th back from Logan Cool. And that might be a bit of an order. Because that's going to be that's a long pit lane there. And also a pretty long pit stop to fix the car. I'm really shocked that not only did Dylan go for that, he doesn't have any damage, although he does flock up a little bit, but, I mean, that's a minor thing compared to what just happened. I think there might be a penalty submission there, especially when we're in the middle of a battle for the championship between the 2 cars that just dramatically collided. Everybody just saw that and knows that Dylan's probably got a penalty his way. But he can't let that distract from the fact that he does have, you know, he is still dutiful to go and try and catch Jurgensmeyer. And to catch him, he certainly is. Gained 7/10 on that last lap alone, so obviously his car is not damaged. Or if it is, he's just driving right through it and not caring, which seems honestly more likely. I've got to be honest. He probably has damage, it's just that it's not a huge amount, and DIVEBOMB has so much pace when he's driving angry that you wouldn't even notice. And now we need to complete the drama sandwich just for Dylan and Jurgensmeyer to collide. Bring out a last-second yellow at the last lap where they could occur. Force a green-white checkered, basically. And watch Matthew Daly take a victory. That would be storybook right there. I kind of think you'd only see in movies. Or Drive to Survive. Yeah, he's definitely caught him, so here we are with 3.5 laps to go. My voice is going to absolutely hate me after this, but... I mean, everyone always says I need more excitement, I need to say less. Well, here we are. Here's the excitement as requested. We got a battle for the lead that could basically determine whether or not we have a championship battle at the final round or not. That was redundant, Riker. Dylan's gonna look too wide at the kink. This is a disaster waiting to happen, but he makes it cleanly. I did not think that was going to work, especially with what we just saw at the carousel a couple of laps ago, but Dylan, bam, as if nothing happened at all, spun around on his own accord, never mind. That is the final nail in the coffin, and here comes Matthew Daly to pick up the shattered pieces. Who's writing this script? Oh my word. How fitting, we have a roller coaster like this at Sonoma, a track that honestly might as well be a roller coaster. But Dylan's car still has no damage, even though his pride might be damaged. As he misses turn 5. As if to demonstrate my point. He still has time to go and get Matthew Daly. But I think Jurgensmeyer, as he's now using his push-to-passes, knowing he has more than enough fuel, my god. I know he's been pushing it with this fuel number at some races lately, even running out at least once. But, oh my word. Think of the gas prices, man. Dylan 2 has plenty of fuel, and he has push-to-pass charges remaining. As he uses one. Yep, okay, I'm a messiah. I can see the future. Do not go to Taco Bell this evening. I don't know what I'm talking about. Matthew still has all of his push-to-pass charges left. And he just runs the fastest lap of the race. He's going to push for that race lead. I don't know if he's going to get there in time, but he's going to go for it all. Dylan's about 2.5 back from him. So this is going to be strictly between Matthew and Jurgensmeyer by the looks of it. He's still going faster than he was before. This is to go even further beyond, or something, I don't know. Cringe references to things that nobody cares about because it's 2023. Who am I kidding? Dragon Ball's still relevant. Oh, bad carousel though. That's not going to help, obviously. Just over a lap to go. The lead's back to 2 seconds, though. I think Daly has, he had his magic, and he's just used it all up. Use your push-to-pass, man! You not have it mapped? You got all 10 of them! Jerk has literally none. Dylan messed up again, by the way. He's now literally 6 back from Matthew Daly. The final lap, Jurg, I think, was a little rocked or something based on the time he lost to Matthew Daly. Oh, it's the Sector 1 Matthew is so good at. It's that setup that's allowing him to take these corners so well. That's what it is. Oh my god, I about had a flipping heart attack. That's AJ Knickel stricken on the side of the racetrack. I thought that was Jurg. He's missing a tire, I guess, but we can't have a caution because we're on the last lap. I about freaked out. I thought that was Jerk spun off to the side, and I was like, there's no way! But no. That is AJ Knickel. Oh, you just use your push to pass, Matthew Daly! You fool! If there were more laps, if we had a 40-lap race here... My god, you got there through the S's, but we're out of corners, so... About as casual of a stroll as we can have on the last 3 laps, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer is going to barely take the victory here at Sonoma. Matthew Daly gets a very close second place. And Dylan Bam will kind of flounder around for a third position. And vehicle damage. Logan Cool is, moving? Is he missing a wheel too? Oh no, he had to slow down. He's accompanying Angel. Angel? AJ? Where did I... He's trying to push AJ around, and that's not helping because he's missing a tire. And I think he's been told to just go. Go. Oh, my lungs are so done with my crap. I need a drink. But that will do it from Sonoma, nonetheless. I am definitely telling Matthew Daly about that. Hey, caramba. There we go. That is the there is the final piece of the puzzle. With our 3 podium finishers and a bonus AJ now in the party. We'll start with the bottom spot of the podium. Dylan Bam, who cautions got you again, clearly. Basically ran the show for the first half, but we got cautions that make things difficult, and, well, he got third, but should have probably been the win, all things considered. I mean, I know I'm preaching to a choir here, but, where did that exactly go wrong? I suppose, actually, I think we all know that, but, you know, I'm supposed to ask you for your take on it.
Well, I mean, some self-inflicted. I mean, that spinalo certainly was not part of the plan. But the reason I was even in that spot to begin with was, guess what? Pit stop glitch. Tires were messed up after that first caution, which is why AJ was catching me that whole time. And then in trying to look at what I had set for the strategy pre-race to make sure they were the right numbers and doing the math on my computer next to me, I hit the wall and gave myself damage, lost places in the pits because of that, and ended up third on that, or fifth, fourth, ended up third once we restarted and we're kind of in that train, because dirty air sucks. And then, yeah, everything happened. We prefer not to speak about the incident at hand. And
That's not going to be your choice, Sunshine.
Okay, well, I tried.
We'll still be spared for a minute, because I wasn't going to ask you about that. I was going to ask the person you ran into. But, we'll get to him after the other podium finishers. On to second place, Matthew Daly. I said about a dozen times in the stream, He's not too far away. He can pick up the pieces when they get shattered. Oh boy, did they get shattered. You know you had push-to-passes, right?
Yeah, I just didn't feel comfortable in the car to use those push passes, especially at a track like this. You got to keep your downforce. I was more worried about finishing the race rather than going fast.
You know that push-to-pass doesn't change your downforce; it increases your horsepower, right?
Well, it'll help me spin out if.
Yeah, ask Dylan Bam about that. You don't want to do that.
Yep.
Especially since all of the straightaways are followed by hairpins. So.
Yeah.
I was literally losing my mind in the booth. I'm like, you can get there, just use one push to pass, and you never press the button. And I was about to.
I was debating on it.
I mean, like from that close, you had to try, right? And like, well, this is what I was thinking, but I guess I suppose take second place rather than risk.
Yeah.
Risk meeting your teammate in the junkyard. And then for Mr. Jurgensmeyer, who has won a race by the skin of his teeth, I would say. There's no skin on anybody's teeth. I don't know where we came up with that expression, but so, you know, you've been followed by 3 different people during this race. How in the world did you cope with all of that pressure? Did you even acknowledge them in your rearview mirror and just keep your eyes forward, or were you defensive the whole way around?
I mean, yeah, I was definitely defensive the whole way around. AJ had a few looks through turn 2. I gave him room a few times, came out on top still, but I mean, I was still setting my fastest laps of the race. I knew they were part of the tracks that I was better. I mean, not many. I was better through the carousel. I was pulling a gap through there, but through the S's, I knew they were way quicker through there. They could go flat out, and I had to lift for every part of the S's. But I mean, it's crazy because I was defending hard because the exact situation that happened. I knew that Dylan was going to get desperate. I didn't think that they'd in fact take each other out. But I mean, at that point, that's all I'm really hoping for at that point, because I mean, it's hard to beat those two on pure pace nowadays. So I got the lead on pit cycles, and I'm glad I defended as hard as I did because it ended in a collision. But even then, it wasn't even ended after that because Maddie gained a lot on me near the end of the race, but couldn't get there in time. So
if we had another lap, we might have been looking at a different winner. But yeah, I definitely noticed it in the S's, but I saw it in the carousel on like those last 2 laps. He gained like a half a second on Maddie through the carousel, but then got on the start of lap, or the start of sector 1 on the final lap, and he ran all of that back and plus. So
yeah, I was nervous there at the end with Maddie catching me, because I mean, it was such a big race for constructors. I mean, JSR's probably got the constructors locked up. I mean, it's a big race for me. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be in with a chance at the championship, but I mean, top 3 would be nice, and I think it's definitely possible after today. So
I think you about locked it up after. Well, not locked it up because Jake should be running the final round, but yeah. I mean, I think mathematically it would take a DNF based on my probably completely incorrect calculations, but it's mathematically possible. But speaking of possible, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was mentioned that CLE was second in the constructors, not 44R, and I don't know if you noticed, but none of them finished, so. None of them finished, and I mean, they got scored, probably, I don't know, but Fidel lasted longer than they did, so. But, I mean, since he's here, we may as well also interview the white and blue elephant in the room. I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. What was your take on that carousel incident?
I mean, I'm a big Dylan fan. I love Dylan. He is very helpful for our team and does a lot. And sometimes you make a mistake. I don't think there's any ill will there. And we'll move on to next week and try to recover. I mean, now it puts us in a long shot position for the championship, and that kind of sucks because we've won it 4 straight years, but you always want to keep the streak going. But we'll see what we can do. Worst case, I come in second, third, whatever. I don't really care all that much if it's not a win. And
Hey, first or last.
Well, I mean, when you've won 4 in a row and like 7 IndyCar titles, you start to just kind of, at the end of the day, it sucks when you get taken out and it's not really, something you could have avoided. I went in there, I left a car width, and he just missed the corner. It happens, and it wasn't it wasn't like past incidents I've had where somebody didn't leave space. Worst case, he'll probably get a 5-10 second penalty out of it, and just like any other driver, I'll throw it on the report pile, and we'll move on to next week.
Yeah, it does sort of seem almost unintentionally Senna Prost-esque. He's taking out his main championship rival, and he got a better finish. Even if he gets a penalty, he's not losing points from it, because the nearest car was a lap down.
That's luck of the draw, I guess. Sometimes you make contact and you make less contact than the other person, but he came past me and it just pulled my wing off, and unfortunately that was... I don't think he got any damage from it because he pulled my wing off with the side of his car. So it happens. I can't really elaborate much more on it than that, but we will move on to Laguna Seca and keep pushing with the setups, and Dylan and I will be as happy as always, and we will keep working together and building setups and winning races.
So clearly bigger implications on the championship than the relationship, which is probably for the best, because we've had enough relationship implications lately.
It depends how you handle stuff. Like, if I was mad and I came to Dylan and I said, hey, I didn't like that, and he apologized, I'm cool. And, vice versa. If somebody did something to me and I apologize, I'd hope they'd be cool. The issue I take with people is when they don't own up to their actions, and I have no doubt in my mind that Dylan, if I was even mad about it, would own up to it, so there's no point in me even coming towards somebody and getting mad about something that I already know he probably feels bad about, so...
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really a question. I was just about to try and segue to the end of the stream there. But, I mean, at any rate, before my voice completely gives out on me, that will wrap things up for IndyCar today. I believe Thursday is nothing, as the Porsche Super Cup wrapped up 2 weeks ago. So, what would be next for that? Do we even have another Thursday series lined up for that?
Nope.
Oh, probably for the best. They were all kind of getting stale anyway. Yeah, next Monday will be the finale at Laguna Seca, as previously mentioned, but not before that. We'll have the full weekend's worth of different racing, with Friday and Saturday's different F1 events, and the GT7 races, where you'll actually get to see me drive. Very mediocre, but those are not broadcasted. I can't even get to the mic. I can't even mute it in time. These come out of nowhere. Right, the sponsors. Shout out to DIVEBOMB, the official title sponsor of AutoRacingConnected. They post articles that keep everybody up to date with news around the motorsports world. Instagram, I think they have their own separate website too. I only follow their meme page on Instagram though, so some sort of fake ARC admin. But shout out as well to SimLeague Pro, the forum-based site that ARC has been using for, let's say, 2 years now to organize, recruit for, and schedule all of our, like 7 different series now. For anybody that's looking for anything to race on any game, the forums there will help you find something that suits what you're looking for, even if it's not us for whatever reason. The Burning Rubber podcast, as run by most of the JSR crew, really, that interview up-and-coming talents from mostly the American side of motorsports, mostly oval racing or dirt racing. You see the occasional big name pop up there. James McAdam, our partnership with him allows us, or ARC, ARC, same thing, to use his various screenshots and in-game photography on our different promotional posts. And to AJ Kinnickle Design, the man that just muted his mic, that does all of the promotional posts for the different ARC media sites. But with that, all the sponsorships, that is it for today. My voice is dead. I'll see you next Monday, but the next broadcast will be on Friday.